Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. It's the 26th. This week's legislative update is as follows. So last week we saw the House Omnibus Higher Ed Bill and the Senate Higher Ed Bill both go out of their respective committees. Committee work is in large part kind of done at this particular point. The Senate Higher Ed Bill moved on to the Senate Finance Committee, where it's getting rolled into the large supplemental budget bill. At the time the Senate Higher Ed Bill passed in the Senate Finance Committee, the target for higher ed in the Senate is still 0, although there was an amendment offered that gave $1 million to Minnesota State for Next Gen, and that amendment passed. The House Higher Ed Bill moved on to Ways and Means. The House Higher Ed Bill, unlike the Senate, did have a target of $5 million, but if you remember correctly, that $5 million was directed entirely to Metro State for the cybersecurity program. Last week we talked a little bit about that. I had testified against that. We had the Legislative Steering Committee had reached out to the campuses, and we had emailed our concerns to Republican leadership and Republican members in the House. At the time it was heard in the Ways and Means Committee, Representative Knobloch offered an amendment to redirect some of that $5 million. So his amendment keeps $1 million for the cybersecurity program at Metro State, but diverts that other $4 million to Minnesota State for campus support. So we have reached out to Representative Knobloch and just thanked him for his support on that. Contract-wise, we're in good shape. Still looking for the most viable path, although it does look like probably higher ed in both the House and the Senate are best bets at this particular point. The representative, the Higher Ed Committee in the House has the contract bill. The Higher Ed in the Senate has the contract bill, and those two bodies will be meeting in conference committee starting next week, where we again try to take the House side and the Senate side and reconcile those two for an ultimate higher ed bill. What else? We really don't have much time in the session left. We're looking at about 4 weeks to wrap everything up. That's including supplemental budget bill, the tax bill. Again, that tax conformity is kind of a big part of this particular legislative session, and of course the bonding bill. Governor Dayton did send a letter to the leadership, essentially laying out how he wants the session to end. He wants budget targets to be reached no later than May 11th. He has no intention of calling a special session, so we are wrapping up relatively quickly. Other than that, just keeping an eye on some random things, nothing of particular note. Let me just go through my notes here. No, I think we're good. As always, questions, comments, concerns, observations, go ahead and give me a call, 651-214-9890, or send me an email, mark.grant@edmn.org. Like the Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, all of those good things. And as always, we'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.